All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to design the home page. So let's go to our iPhone 11 project design. Let's click on the iPhone project starter file. We're going to open that up. And I also want you to open up the finished project file as well, so that we have both of those open. Okay. So this is the starter file. This is the one we're going to be working off of. And this is the finished file. Okay. All right. So what I want to do first is I want to get the width and the height of the navigation bar. So if I click the letter V and click on the box here, we have a width of 414 pixels and a height of 50 pixels. Okay. And then the color is a hex code, so it's hashtag 002334. So if we right click on that and copy, okay, what I can do then is I'll minimize this. And remember, the width is 414, which is just the width of the device, and then the height is 50 pixels. So we only need to remember 50 pixels. Okay, and then I have the color. So I'm going to minimize this one, and let's go here, and we're going to go here first to the mobile menu. I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, and we're going to drag out here till we're at 50 pixels. So I'm at 49. So we'll just adjust the component height here, and we'll make it 50. We'll turn off the border, and we'll click on fill, and we're going to paste in our hex code. I'm going to hit enter, and now we have the color that we want for our navigation. Okay. Okay, so that was successful. Now, the next thing I want to do is we're going to label this. So let's call this nav bar background. Okay. So it's imperative that we label everything, because Adobe XD works differently than, let's say, Photoshop or Illustrator, where you can create folders out of the whim and just organize stuff. With Adobe XD, you have to group things, which is a folder, but you have to do it in a way where you group it first. Otherwise, you make the mistake that I made doing this project, where I just made 800 layers, maybe not that many, but 80 layers, let's say, and I just had a default name. So whatever this name was, rectangle 437, I had a whole bunch of those, and I didn't label anything. So we got to label everything so that we know how to find everything quickly, okay? Because organization is key. And the other thing that's key is to save, save, save. So you see here how there's a little star next to the iPhone 11 project starter. So if I hit Command S or Control S on the PC, that'll save the file. We always want to be saving after we do a few things. That way we keep our progress, okay? So I'm going to go back into our finish file here, and I'm going to copy the logo. So I'm going to hit Command C, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to paste that in. Okay. I'm going to go back here again, and we're going to grab the hamburger menu. Let's see if I can grab this. There we go. And then I'll paste that in. And what we're going to do is we're going to group this together. We're going to call it the nav bar. Okay. So you can individually label these. So like this, we could call LearnTech Plus logo. Okay. And then I think menu icon is fine. I'll just capitalize it so it's easier to read. That's why I cap it. And then if we hold Shift and we select all three layers and right click, we click group, or you can do Command G on the Mac. Then we have group 1. So we're going to call this nav bar. And the reason why I call it nav bar is these are all navigation, part of the nav bar. So you have the menu icon, you have the logo, and then the actual nav bar itself. So we're grouping those together. That way if we need to copy this, let's say that we want to copy it to another, I don't know, another page. So if I hold Alt and bring it over to the home page, okay, now I have the nav bar on the home page, and I have the nav bar on the mobile menu. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now we're going to build the home page. So we'll leave the menu on the mobile menu, but we're going to focus now on the home page. So let's go to the finished product here and zoom out. And let's see what we need to build in order to get to the final product here. So let's grab this right here. This is going to be 244 pixels in height, and the fill is going to be the same color. So let's copy the hex code, and the height is going to be 244. All right, so let's go back to the other file here. We're going to grab the rectangle tool again, and we're going to make this 244 pixels in height. Okay, I'm going to turn off the border. We're going to add the fill. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to see if we can get rid of that line. Let me see here. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. And we'll just move it over a little bit. And I don't think I grabbed the right color here. Let me see. No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. I thought that was a little weird. I did try to add a little contrast there. Okay, so we're going to select the rectangle, and we're going to change the fill color. If it lets me. Okay, here, let me try that again. Let's go to the, I don't think it copied. Oh, it did copy. I'm just doing the wrong thing here. I set it to 95%. So the color's correct, but the transparency is wrong. That's on me. All right, so I'm not paying attention here. My apologies. So here we go. We'll do 95%. Give a little contrast. There you go. So now we have the hero image, basically, or the top content image. Okay, so we built the hero image out. So let's click on that. And what we'll do is we're going to group this whole section together, but let's build out the rest of it. So let's get the rest of the content here and what we need. So the text we can copy. So search for preferred courses, more than 130 courses for you. We can hit Command or Command C on the Mac, Control C on the PC. And I will bring that in. And then we'll place it exactly where it needs to be. Then what we're going to do is we're going to build out the search bar first. So again, the height's going to be 32 pixels and the width is going to be 360 pixels. Okay. So let's build that. So we're going to go 32 pixels in height. The width is going to be 360. Okay. So let's go like this. Let's grab the rectangle tool. And we're going to go a little bit off of the text, and we're going to go this way, and it's going to be 360 by 32. There we go. Beautiful. That's exactly how I want it. Try to center it as much as you can. I like everything perfectly centered because it's a mobile device, so that works. And you see here when I bring it down, it will show you the margin or the gap between the text and between the nav bar, which is 27 pixels. So I like a little more space, as much space as I can garner. I want to do that. Next, we're going to build the this right here, the search button. Okay, so we need this color. So let me bring that in, and we're going to grab the color here. So let's just right click and copy. And then I'm going to minimize this, and we're going to build it out. And I'm going to also get the width, which is 153, and the height is 32 pixels. So let's build that out, and then we'll label the button. Okay. So what I want to do is let's go like this. And the height we have, because it's the height of the search bar, and the width is going to be 153. So we're just going to build it out like that, turn the border off, and then we're going to give it a width of 153. Okay, and then I'm going to add the fill so we know where it is. And then I'm going to select it and bring it back and kiss it on the edge of the search bar. Okay, and then we'll grab some text. And we'll just grab it from the finished product here. So we have the same font and size. I'll minimize that, and then we'll paste it in. And bring her down. So it's flush in the middle, so it looks beautiful, which I think looks great. And now we've created the search button. So this is what we're going to call button background. Okay, and then this will be the search bar. And then you have the text, and then this is just the background. Okay. And that's pretty much it. The only thing else that we need to get is this text here. So we're just going to copy that. And then I'm going to paste that in here. Okay. And now we have, I already grouped these together. So let's bring that out. And now we have search for preferred courses, right? So if I select all this, right click and we group it. And then we call it search now. That pretty much explains what it is. You know, you're going to search, right? Okay, so now we have that part done. So we have the search area done. Now we need to do course categories, okay? So with this, I want to get the height of this rectangle, which is going to be 850 pixels, and we want to get the fill. So I'm going to right click and we're going to copy the hex code, okay? And it's going to be 850 pixels. So let's go here and let's grab the rectangle tool. We're going to bring this down. I'll just start it and then I'm going to give it a height of 850. Okay, and then we'll turn the border off and then we'll double click on the fill, paste that in, and now we have our color. Okay, so again, this is going to be the course categories section. So we're just going to call this background, and we're going to build off of this. Okay. So now we want course categories, so we'll just copy that text. Because again, the text is minimal. We don't want to be typing that out. That's the part where we can copy stuff just to speed up the process so you understand what we're doing here. Okay. And then we're going to build these shapes, okay? So these are actually buttons that we're going to build. So I need to get the width and the height. So it's going to be, let me double click on that, and the width is 290 pixels, the height's 129, and the fill is going to be the same old color that we're always using. So let's build this from scratch. And let me show you one more thing, because this is very important to understand. Okay, let me do full screen here so you can see everything. So when I zoom in here, you'll see how they have these little dots in the corners. So this is the radius for all the corners. So right now we have 10 pixels, right? But if I put it at 0, it goes to a square. So we need to keep that in mind, that we're going to make this give it a radius of 10 when we create the button, okay? Just smooth it over a little bit. Make it look kind of cool, you know? So let's build that button. So we're going to build the Adobe button first, okay? And what we're going to do, I'm just going to kind of wing it first, and I want to give it a width. I want it to be 50 pixels away from the there we go. So we're going to be 50 pixels away from course categories, okay? I'm going to turn the border off. We're going to replace the fill with the color I gave you, okay? And then we're going to set the radius to 10. So we're going to click right here, 10, and now we have our Adobe button. Now the only thing we need, which we're just going to grab from the finish files itself, is the text, okay? So I'll minimize that, and then we'll paste that in. And then what I want to do is I want to kind of straighten this out. So you see we have 68 pixels on the left, on the right, 36 above us, and 35 below. So this is the actual center point of this button, which I like to put it in the middle, especially on a mobile device. I like to make the buttons as big as possible so people can easily see it, and they'll say, oh, wow, this is a call to action. They want me to do something. Exactly. So that's our Adobe button, okay? So now what we're going to do is we need to make the Google button. And all we're going to do is copy it and paste this. So we're going to hold Shift. I'm going to click off for a second. I'm going to hold Shift. We're going to click on the button or the rectangle and then Adobe, okay? So before we do that, let's label this Adobe background so we know what's what, right? And we'll go one further, we'll group this. So we'll call this Adobe, okay? Then I'm going to hold Shift, select the background, and actually you don't need to hold Shift. If I open up the home artboard here and I click on Adobe, it's highlighted, okay? So we've selected it. And when I select it and I hold Alt and drag it down, okay, now we're straight. So now we label this one Google, okay? Label this Google, whoops, there we go. And then I want to center this, there we go. And then I'm going to change this to Google background instead of Adobe background. So we'll call it Google background. And again, this is just so that if, let's say you give the file to someone and they move everything around, you can easily bring it back and you're organized as well, okay? Next we have Microsoft and then WebDev, okay? So we're going to do Microsoft next. So I'll just select the layer there. We'll drop it down 50 pixels. And you see how it lines everything up perfectly, beautiful. And then we'll just change the name again to Microsoft. Okay, and then I'm going to select it, and we're going to bring it to the middle. So we got 40 to the left, 40 to the right, 36 on top, 35 on the bottom. Okay, and I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see that easily. So we got 36 on the top, 35 on the bottom, 40 on the right, 40 on the left. Okay. And then the last one, again, we're going to label this first. So we will, I'm going to copy this so I can just slap it in there. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. There we go. I like to do a lot of copy and paste so we get stuff done quicker. Okay. I'm going to hold Alt, and then we're going to bring this down, and I'm going to delete that because I didn't select everything. So let's select the folder. There we go. Now we'll hold Alt. Okay, now we're going to do WebDev. Okay, I'll make sure that this is center. 46, 46, 36 on top, 35 on the bottom. Beautiful. So now we have the categories area done. So what we'll do is we're going to group all these together along with the background. Whoops. And we'll call this, you guessed it, course categories. Course categories. And I'm going to put it in the order that it appears. So we have the nav bar first, then the search now, and then course categories. So again, it's easy for you to find stuff, find your files, find everything fast. Okay. All right, let's go back to our final product here and look at the final thing that we're going to be building. So the featured courses. So with this, what I'm going to do is we're going to select the text featured courses. I'm going to save that. I'm going to copy it actually with Control C on the PC, Command C on the Mac, and then we'll paste it in here. Okay. Now again, this file right here, I created myself. So let's just do a copy of that one and also of the Learn CSS file. Okay, we're going to bring these over. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to build out the rest of it. Okay, so I'll give you all the dimensions and then I'll give you the color scheme and all that as we're doing it. So the first thing we're going to build is we're going to build this 1999 label. Okay. So you can see here with the featured courses, I'm building out the interface to give people a call to action. Okay. The price of the course is $19.99 and I'm giving a call to action to enroll. So we want to build and emphasize both of these so that they know what's going on. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build the background or the label. Let's call it the label. We're going to give it a color, this hex code right here, 0089FF. So I'm going to copy that. And we're going to give it a width of 131 by 26. Okay. So let's build that. So we're going to grab make sure we're on the home artboard here, and then we're going to grab the rectangle tool, and we're going to build that out. So again, it's going to be 131 for the width. Okay. And then the height is going to be 26. Okay. Now again, you could just type it here if you want. I like to kind of do it the other way, but you're free to do it however you want. And then we're going to change the color or the fill to the color I gave you. So it's 0089FF. Okay. And then the height, I believe, is 10 pixels. Yes, it's 10 pixels. So you can see here, it's kind of hard to see because they have pink as the color, which is fine, but it's kind of hard to read. You see how when I move it down, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We want it to be 10 pixels from the top of the image itself. Okay, and then we're going to add the price. So we'll do label, background, and let's do HTML5 label background. Okay, so we know what it is, and then we'll bring in the finished product. I'm going to copy just the text. Okay, I'll hit Command C on the Mac, Control C on the PC, minimize that, paste her in there, and beautiful. Okay, so now we've built the first part of the HTML5 thumbnail here. So the overlay here is the price and the label, and then we're also going to build a button. Okay, so the button is going to be pretty straightforward. We're just going to give it a width of the image. And again, this is a mobile design strategy here, that when you're using a mobile device, you want to have big buttons to really grab people's attention, because if they're small, you don't want to be squinting on your little device and say, okay, what does that say? So really, mobile devices make everything bigger. You know, they magnify everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the button here, and it's going to be 381, which is the width of the image, by 80 pixels. Okay. And then our color is going to be our color we've been using, 00334. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a trick about the colors as well. So let's grab the, actually, let me move this over here so I can get a reference for you. All right, let me grab the rectangle tool here. And we're going to go right from the edge of the image and drag over to the right to the other edge of the image. Okay, and it should be 381, which it is. And then the height's going to be 80 pixels. Okay, there we go. Kiss the edge. I'll turn the border off, and then we'll give it the fill, and we're good. Okay, so the thing I wanted to show you about the colors real quick is if you hit this little plus sign right here, this color's saved now. So instead of having to enter in the hex code every time, you can just select the fill and then hit the plus sign, and now we have both colors that we've been using throughout the course. Okay. All right, so we got the button made. And now what I need to do is add the enroll text, which I have here. And we're going to select that. And then we're going to minimize this, and I'll paste it in. And there you go. And so now let's see if it's exactly in the middle. We have 129 by 129 on the left and on the right. Beautiful. Okay, there you go. So that's done. Now what I want to do is the HTML content, the thumbnail, the text that we made, the button that we made. I want all that to be one group. So we're going to group this together, and I'll call this HTML5. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with CSS, but this time, instead of running around in circles and doing all this again, you don't have to do that. All you need to do is this, and this is the cool thing about Adobe XD, is we can go here, I can copy this, bring it down, and make it 50 pixels. Let's see, let me undo that, sorry. Hold Alt and then release your mouse once it's where it needs to be. Okay, and then I can drag this down until it gets to the part where, let's just do 51, that's fine. Okay. So let's say that we need to change out the image. If I drag this image down, okay, well, it's supposed to work. There we go. Oh, well, let me do it. Why not? Okay, well, I'll just delete it. But what I was going to show you is you can just bring this image in, and it should replace it, which it did before, and it's not working this time, which is okay. I can live with it. So I just dragged it in. And there you go. So now we have the HTML5 course and the CSS3 course. And I need to do one more thing with this, which is we're going to label this CSS3 so I know what the difference between the two are. And then we're going to bring it down. So we're going to do featured courses. Okay. HTML5, and then CSS3. And now what's the last thing we need to do? We need to group these together. Okay, so we'll group them, and we're going to call this featured courses. So again, what this does is we organize our files here, or our assets. When I click here, we have the nav bar. So anything I need in the nav bar is there. When I click here, we have search now. When I click here, we have course categories. And when I click here, we have featured courses, right? So the only thing left what we have to do is the footer, okay? So let's go to our final project here, our final result, as they say. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and just get the height, which is 50 pixels, and we're going to copy the text. If it lets me, there we go. So I'll copy the text, and the height, remember, is going to be 50 pixels, just like the navigation. So we'll go to the bottom of the page here. We'll grab the rectangle tool, and I'll just drag this out, and it's going to be 50 pixels in height. And it's the full width of the device. And then we'll just bring this up. We'll turn off the border, and we'll double click on the fill. We'll click on the fill, and then select blue, and then we're going to paste it in. Okay, wait. I'm going to select it and then paste it in. So you do have to select the asset in order for the copied text to go where it needs to go. So I'm going to hit Command S to save this. We're going to zoom out and just kind of look at what we did here. Very nice. So let me zoom in a little bit. So you can see we did and before I go over the summary real quick of what we did here, I'm going to add a group. And we're going to call it footer. Okay, and now we're going to go through what we built in this entire lecture. Okay, so from the top, and actually that needs to go in there too. Footer, background. There we go. All right, so from the top, we built the nav bar. So we grabbed the assets of the logo and the menu icon from our final product. And then we built the search now area. And I noticed I messed something up here. I did not turn off the border, which we want to do. So I'll do that right now. That's why we're reviewing. As I smile at you. Then we did course categories. Okay. So this is so that the user can select the category that they want to learn. So let's say you want to learn Adobe courses. You click on Adobe and it'll take you right to the Adobe course page, basically, or my course offerings. Okay. Then we have featured courses. So these are the featured courses that I want to highlight and upsell, basically. And so we have $19.99 and then a call to action, enroll. You could change that to buy now. But again, this is just kind of the first page. So there you go. That's the home page. And then we built the footer. Okay, so now we have all the assets ready to start building the next couple pages. So in the next video, we're going to build the courses page. All right, so thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.